What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I'm going to give you a very quick update on Faraday future, tickers FFIE, give you a good breakdown of the technicals and everything else that you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So as far as what happened on Thursday, it went up roughly about 11%. So it goes to show that there is a lot of good momentum behind the scenes, and it did break past that very big psychological resistance of $1. It did get pulled back down a little bit, and that's where it's kind of sitting. As far as shorts, I'll give you a starting update with that. Short score is currently 75, utilization is 100%, and as far as what shorts did on Thursday, they increased 1.53 million shares, bringing the grand total to 94.29 million shares, and 22.17% is the short interest, which is a percentage of the free float, which is all fine and dandy. But in order for you to have a squeeze, you do need two things that unfortunately Faraday is right now missing, one of which is a fairly high cost to borrow, and right now it's technically around 8.5%. So again, definitely need that. You also need a catalyst, and there's a lot of optimism right now saying that there's going to be catalysts coming, but as of right now, nothing's set in stone. So there might be a good surprise one coming down the pipeline, and if so, then there will be most likely a fairly good squeeze. Until then, I think it might be just following the broader EV sector potentially. But over and above that, what Powell recently said, it did give a lot more optimism. On Friday, though, there is that non-farm payroll that potentially could cause a little bit more disruption within the economy, a little bit in the market. So again, keep that in mind. When it comes down to the dark pool transactions, there was 3 that did occur on February the 2nd. So 163,000, 105, and 139,000. Of course, that's fairly good. Looking as far as in the past, it seems to be the normal with the exception of the 24th, but again, I think it's fairly good in that regard. And when it comes down to the options, oddly, things have been fairly optimistic. So a lot more calls have been being purchased. So clearly there is a lot of upside potential. But of course, when it comes down to investing, a lot of people absolutely love to bet on the underdog. And I think Faraday is very much the underdog in the market right now, because there is a lot of bearish articles coming out talking on bankruptcy and various things. So I'm going to share that with you as well. On a side note, these 3 outliers right here, based on the volume, most likely are either institutions or shorts. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, so just make sure you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. There's a lot of articles, like I said, coming out, but this one in particular, though, they are comparing Mullen, Faraday, and Lordstown. And ultimately, in Faraday's aspect, it says that bankruptcy warnings in the third quarter points to a challenging time ahead. And based on the last actual earnings, it does show that, as far as the balance sheet highlights, $31.77 million in cash equivalents and short-term investments, $94.06 million in total debt. So again, just by looking at that, definitely shows a little bit more of a concerning factor, especially $457 million is what is being burnt every quarter from operations. So something is amiss. And like I said, though, behind the scenes, a lot of people absolutely love to bet on the underdog. And for instance, if the underdog does actually make it out of the kind of tough times it goes through, that is where you make a shit ton of money. So again, only you guys know if this is worthwhile for yourself, but I think right now it might be a potential good squeeze play, but it does need a couple of those factors, like I said, to really change, more specifically a catalyst. But looking on the actual chart though, things are looking fairly good, but I think in reality, Powell really helped as far as his discussion, and outside of that, 2023 has just been very good for a lot of growth stocks such as Faraday. But right now, and especially over the last little bit, looks like number of retail investors have been getting in, so very a positive sign in that regard. Stochastic is at 65, but you do see that deviation, so black line above the reds showing a bullish sentiment is actually wanting to form behind the scenes. But keep in mind, if it does continue to go up as basically the same trend it's been going on, it will be soon considered very much overbought and might consolidate a little bit. So that might be in potentially the future, but keep in mind as well, like I said, if there is a squeeze, disregard all the actual indicators because it's basically not really important at that stage in the game. It's just going to be a little bit more of the resistance points. And if it can get outside of the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band right here, which technically is, it looks like $1.09 or $1.10, if it can actually break out of that, then most likely it will easily go up to $1.71, most likely, which of course is that 200-day moving average. In order for that to occur, a lot of things would have to go very much right for Faraday, and plus the broader market would still need to be on the continued rally it is. So I think in general though, if there is a squeeze, it could easily hit to around the $4 range, a realistic price. Of course, a lot of people say if there's a squeeze, blah blah blah, it's going to go to the moon, it's going to go to 20, 50, whatever it is. Realistically, based on previous resistance levels, I do see if a squeeze was to occur, most likely around the $4. But of course, I could be wrong. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. If there is any other tickers you guys are very interested in as far as me covering, throw them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to look at that. On a side note, in more specific to Faraday, if there's any other aspects I did miss that other investors might really gain some benefit over, throw that also in the comments below and educate other Faraday individuals, because keep in mind, I'm just going very fast over the technicals and some data points that stands out to me. So let me know your thoughts on all of that. If you do like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Faraday.